Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. I have done a Starburst vinyl glitter tumbler in the past, but I did post a picture of this beautiful tumbler that we made for my daughter's art teacher, and many of you wanted a tutorial on this one as well. I did record bits and pieces for making reels and things like that, so I just put them all together, and I'm going to walk you through the steps, beginning with our vinyl. We are using a tumbler that has already been glittered. I used Alter Ego from PDB Creative Studio. I gave 2 coats of epoxy on that tumbler, sanding in between those coats so it's nice and smooth to add on our vinyl. This gorgeous butterfly and floral vinyl is from Gracefully Created, and I cut it using the exact same pattern as I did our prior rainbow starburst tumbler. If you want more details on how I cut this design and got it to perfectly fit my tumbler, definitely check out that last video. I'll have it linked down below, and I'll try to link it in this tutorial as well. But once it is cut, I'm going to just trim the outside of the vinyl so it's a smaller canvas to work with, and remove every other spot so our glitter will show through. I'm going to take a piece of transfer tape, place it over top of my vinyl. I'm going to remove a little bit of that backing after I trim everything up, and we're going to use the hinge method to place it on the tumbler. I don't know if I mentioned this in the beginning, but this is a 24-ounce plump from the TIPSY Magnolia. TIPSY Magnolia is prior the Steel Magnolia. So if you have loved and purchased all of the Steel Magnolia tumblers, head over to TIPSY Magnolia and grab some of your favorite styles. They actually just restocked, and I see that they have not yet sold out, so definitely head over there and grab your favorite styles. And I still have a code, which is Brittany 10. Many of you have remade this design that I did in the original tutorial, and I've had lots of questions on how I get my vinyl wraps to line up perfectly. And really it's just a science of getting the wrap cut to the correct size, and then whenever you trim off that little bit of backing of your vinyl after you've put your transfer tape on there and wrap it around your tumbler, you want to make sure that there's the same distance from the top rim to the vinyl all the way around, and the same on the bottom. You hold it really snug on the tumbler and line that seam up and press it down while you are holding it snug. Once you have it in place, you press that exposed piece down, and then use a large squeegee like I just had, so you really keep that in line when you put pressure on it to wrap it around the tumbler, while allowing that backing to fall off as you make your way around. Now, like I said, you might have a slight overlap, and we did here. It was just a teeny tiny piece, but I don't want that extra thickness under my vinyl, so I am going to take a piece of painter's tape, place it right down the center of the seam, remove that vinyl underneath and on top. I'm going to be using the Textured Metallic Gold from Tech Wrap Craft, which is my all-time favorite vinyl company and vinyl. I love this. I use it so much because it adds depth and dimension to all of your designs with the texture and that metallic. These are cut to 0.04 by 11.5 inches wide. We're going to take it right over the top of the edges of our vinyl through the center and then up to the top of our tumbler, or bottom, whichever way we're going. Now I did trim some of the excess off of the top and the bottom rim as I was going, but once I have finished my seam on the back side, I'm going to trim off that excess. And to do that, I take my craft blade and just let it push down in between where my vinyl overlaps so it comes to a perfect point rather than overlapping each other. You want to make sure that all of this vinyl is pressed down really, really well so it does not lift up whenever you apply your epoxy. I do advise putting it on a glossy tumbler rather than sanded like me, so you can take that outside and give it a couple coats of clear so you can really seal that in and prevent it from lifting up whenever you put your epoxy on. I was in a little bit of a pinch with this tumbler, and oh, sorry if you keep hearing the rooster in the background. I have mentioned my chicks a couple of times in tutorials because they were in the house in a brooder for quite some time and they got really noisy. Well, they are a lot noisier outside because if they hear my voice, they come to whichever door I'm closest to. And the rooster crows, the ducks quack, all of them just go nuts and want treats. So please ignore my spoiled birds if you hear them being obnoxious in the background. So back to what I was saying, I wanted to cut a very small piece to go in the center. I was making this tumbler in quite a pinch, so I did not have time to add on a big decal on the front after a couple of coats of epoxy. So I went back to Cricut, and they do have some free files on there from time to time. And I grabbed this small little butterfly, cut it to about 1.25 inches. I'm going to take the outer edge, so the negative space from our little vinyl square, place that on a tumbler, and I'm going to use that as a guide to trim off all of those little pieces of striping so our butterfly will sit just perfectly down in between all of them and not have any lumps or bumps underneath it if we place it on top of those lines. Remove all that excess that I just trimmed up and place our butterfly down in the little spot. As I mentioned, this was not originally intended to be a tutorial, so I do only have bits and pieces. I don't have that final glow up video that y'all love so much, so I apologize for that, but I did use a little extra incorporated epoxy for this tumbler. They have a regular epoxy as well as turbo, which is a faster drying version of their regular, of course, and they both have incredible shine. It is a lighter viscosity epoxy, so it is so easy to very quickly epoxy your tumblers or 20 tumblers of whatever you're working on. And although I have tested other epoxies out there since starting with a little extra 3 years ago, there's something about the smoothness and the high shine of ALE epoxy that just draws me back every single time. So if you want to try it for yourself, go to aleshine.com and you can use code LOVEALE for 10% off of your order. That was our little gift set that we sent to my daughter's art teacher, and she absolutely loved it. I hope y'all did too. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments below and I'll answer them as quickly as possible. All materials are listed down in the description for you with some coupon codes. That is all for today. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you next time.